Kailangan masahagiran bagal butan hindi sa tata. Mening corona sintomol buliata. Kana sino tora tumul kono buliata doktorunya. Corona dunga bijane, odo jane meduna mol kono ngakata ngana maksuta. Kon fagaro gen faju, jogal dem jil pegu. Fagaro gen faju, muna arsa mo pasan jobol at sa ding corona. Bente mong sundir, neng arso no bapa di corona. Bente mong sundir, otong besang pantangka. Bara, Washington, West Africa, no doku ole nyata. Ni lofta de marla, Washington, West Africa, senta bagieja. So te pesa bilsi, no lo pesa rabbi. El ale ideka, kontagal wawak. To ame ay chefe chefe, no lo chuk nga nyefe. Aferi tangi dege, kontagal wawak. Di corona, bente mong sundir. Neng arso no bapa di corona. Bente mong sundir, otong besang pantangka di corona. Bente mong sundir, neng arso no bapa di corona. Bente mong sundir, otong besang pantangka.
Fortunately, he traveled to China on a 3 or so week seminar. So that in 3 weeks' time, he will actually be joining me in the studios, and I'm very happy and
Corona, belegi mong sundir. Pambuko jahane. Corona, corona, alisain dunga bijane. Tofan sempang odang ka bijane. Keni hiar sa ono hondi. Ilangan atu egiran anda kalau bitan indi. Keni hiar sa ono hondi. Kailangan masahagiran anda kalau bitan indi sa tata. Mening corona sintomol buliata. Kana sino tora tumul kono buliata doktorunya. Corona dunga bijane, odo jane meduna mol kono ngakata ngana maksuta. Kon fagaro gen faju, jogal dem jil pegu. Fagaro gen faju, muna arsa mo pasan jobol at sa ding corona. Bente mong sundir, neng arso no bapa di corona. Bente mong sundir, otong besang pantangka. Bara, Washington, West Africa, no doku ole nyata. Ni lofta de marla, Washington, West Africa, senta bagieja. So te pesa bilsi, no lo pesa rabbi. El ale ideka, kontagal wawak. To ame ay chefe chefe, no lo chuk nga nyefe. Aferi tangi dege, kontagal wawak. Di corona, bente mong sundir.
studios. Today, I'm joined by a young, prominent guy, a politician, and of course, a Pan-African. Omar Sanyang, and also a university final year student, who actually joined me here this evening. Supposed to be joined by my course Adam Makasuba, but he's not here. He's currently out of town. He went to China on a 3-week seminar training on media and journalism. But I'm definitely glad to have Mr. Omar Sanyang with me here. It's always good to have young people, and of course, he's that young guy who's actually has been very, very active in politics, and of course, he's a bona fide supporter of DOI. So we'll actually discuss the current political climate of the Gambia. And of course, a lot of pressing issues happening in the country. Mr. Sanyang, I'm humbled to actually receive you here in Gttv. Welcome.
Thank you very much, my brother, and I am happy to be here.
Great. Nice to have you one more time. And of course, to our beautiful viewers out there, thank you so much for following this program every Thursday. And today we're actually going to start the program with the current political climate of the Gambia. But before we actually delve much into that, tell us, Omar, what actually inspired you to become a Pan-African? And of course, because when we talk about Pan-Africanism, it's more of patriotism at some point. Loving Africa and representing, instead, having the norm that we got to actually colonize, or we got to believe in our own norms and values instead of still relying on the white folks actually colonized for hundreds of years and all that. Tell us true. What actually transpired to become a Pan-African?
So, thank you very much. And I think that is a very personal question. I started knowing about Pan-Africanism when I was young, because I'm somebody that believes in culture, norms, and the values of my people. So growing up in a society that respects that, I found my identity within. So when I grew up, I started going to school, learning about theories. I later on understand that Pan-Africanism is about somebody being who you are. You don't need to wait for other people to tell you who you are. So I'm an African, and that alone, it's a clear testament that I should be a Pan-Africanist.
Wow, great. Having understand these things, it tells that you no longer rely on the Western philosophies and all that. How important it is for one to actually become a Pan-African. I think every African should actually be a Pan-African one way or the other. Actually,
yeah. So we now have to understand, because there are so many bad connotations when it comes to Pan-Africanism. Because anywhere in the world, when you go there and you tell people that, most especially in Africa or in the Gambia, you tell them that you are Pan-Africanist, there is a lot of discouragement that will come your way. You don't want to go to Europe.
Absolutely.
Or you don't want to be this. You don't want to be successful in life. Forgetting that Pan-Africanism itself as a movement started somewhere in Europe, because when slavery and slave trade commenced, and when the black are now gaining their consciousness in America, they started this movement. The likes of W.E.B. Du Bois and the likes started the movement for Africans in the diaspora, or most especially Africans in America, to realize their potential so that they can also fight for their rights. So that is where Pan-Africanism as an ideology emerged from. So so it started moving, and Africans realizing their potentials through those movements, the Pan-African movements. So it started going generational unto generational until our generation today.
Yeah. So great. That's quite important and interesting. Now that most Africans are actually taking ownership of what actually belongs to them. They no longer rely on the Western philosophies and ideologies and all that. Now coming into politics, what actually inspired you to actually become a politician? And of course, despite all the political parties in the country, you affiliate yourself to DOI. A political party that most people, describe as, or term as a political party that has been has always been in serious hibernation. What inspired you to join DOI in the first place?
So, because I am a student of Karl Marx, and I believe that when we are suppressed, there is a class struggle. And the classes are the bourgeois and the proletariat. The bourgeois are the, let's say, in the Gambian context, in a capitalist system, that is the system that we are today. They are the individuals that owns and runs businesses. The elites. Not necessarily, but we have the capitalists and the bourgeois there. So they are at the echelon of everything. The decision making, and they now have to decide what we do and what we don't do.
Wow.
So from there, we understand that DOI as a political party, it's speaking from a different perspective when it comes to that. It is telling you that the resources of the state must be equally distributed to the poor, to the masses. And the class struggle, there will be no class in the country. That is to say, there will be no bourgeois or no proletariats in a country. But everybody will see themselves as one people, no class struggle. So you understand that, okay, I started realizing all this when I was at senior school. In government, that is what we call the Zim family. So you were taught capitalism, socialism, liberalism, totalitarianism, authoritarianism. You let on understand, I let on understand, okay, with all the ideas, the best idea that suits the reality of my people is the socialist idea. Wow. So then I have to align myself with that socialist idea, and now I have to investigate and do my thorough findings. Among the political parties, which among them has these criteria that I'm talking about today? So in any political party, or in all political parties in this country, DOI is very clear when it comes to their ideological standards. It is. So we have discussions around that. So it is very clear that there is the political party that aligns with my beliefs. So, okay, when it comes to people not aligning themselves with that party, everybody in this country will know that the policies that DOI has are the best policies. We don't need to argue about that, because you will go elsewhere and you will see people talking about it. So now, if you don't vote for the best ideas, you are going to vote for ideas that do not suit the reality. So I think that is why, because they do not want to be caught up in all this.
Well, so but now one may tend to question, despite all the good policies and all the good ideologies, people time to time will tell you, DOI, they have the best policy, but barely they vote for DOI. What do you think actually is the reason to that?
So that still has to go to the ignorance of the people. Sorry for that language.
Okay.
But we must be conscious about what we want and what we do not want. If you said DOI has good policies, but you are not voting for them, so who are you blaming? You are not blaming DOI, you blame yourself. Because you yourself knows that they have policies. Policies that can remove you from abject poverty, policies that can break the chain of injustice, policies that can close the gap between the bourgeois and then the proletariat. So if you don't align yourself with that political party, then you must be something else. But you know exactly that the political party has the best idea. Everybody knows that. And the problem is when people get caught up in a very big mess, that is the time that they will realize that DOI as a political party is existing.
Sometimes you see people cutting videos a few years ago when pronouncement that Khalifa has made, they will bring in them as vermin and all that, and then you tend to realize that, come on, what's wrong with Gambians sometimes? But now also, must argue that, DOI type of, the system or how they operate politically needs to be questioned. There is no proactive representation, or having to actually make several outreach and all that. They have to also change ways or alternatives to actually suit the electorates and all that. Don't you think that also may actually bring in more folks to actually align themselves with the party policies and all that?
So when DOI was formed in 1986, the focus was mainly educating people, not conversing votes.
Wow.
So I think that is where people fail to understand that after DOI's formation, it was not, okay, let's go and converse votes, but they wanted to take things gradually. Yes, one might agree that there are certain ways that we want to do politics. It is not going to win us votes. Because, we are living in a world that sometimes you have to adapt to the realities of the people. And I think DOI is on that voyage now, because currently there are a lot of reforms that is going on within the party, and I think the party is going to adapt to those realities. But just like I said, when the party was formed initially, it was not mainly let's go and converse votes, but it was let's go and educate the Gambian masses about their rights. That is why they are the only political party in the country that has a newspaper and a radio station.
Great.
The Foreya, newspaper and the foreign radio. So these were mechanisms that the party used to educate the Gambian people, to write about issues, you know, so that people can understand this is my right and this is what I should do at the end of the day. But just like you said, sometimes you have to question the manner in which we do the politics, because Khalifa believes in, or Doi itself believes in a lot of how do I put this? We believe that we don't need to do things extremely, you know.
Okay.
Okay, we go to, for instance, a place in Basse, let's say in Tambasansang, and okay, the people of Tambasansang are expecting us to cook for them. Wow. For instance, you know, they're expecting us to go with a very big ambience. You know, I am there to talk to you about something serious. Why do I need to bring in fun part of it? Because it's a serious conversation. Let's be serious in having that conversation. Yeah, but now we are saying in the 21st century politics, people are trying to involve that. Yes, as a political science student, there is this course that I do called music in politics. We cannot do away, because even politicians, you can take an example of Bobby Wine, Chagolani Bobby Wine of Uganda, who is a music enthusiast, but he's using music to preach. You know, and I think, okay, it's not bad to do that, but just like I said, the party is going through so many reforms, and I think the party is really going to be the party of the people.
Great. I mean, so many people have accused your party of being too stingy. That's why you actually, you know, you never get your people food, you know. Some will tell you, do you want to, do you all eat not do you don't problem sometimes and all that. But sometimes it's also good that you go with ambient, not, because sometimes you can educate people through music sometimes. Like you mentioned, Bobby Wine and all that, you know. So it's quite important. And I'm looking forward to those reforms, like you rightly mentioned. I mean, because they've been one of the most, consistent political party. They've stood their ground for decades. I mean, despite the first so many changes has happened and all that, but they will still maintain a stance, you know, irrespective of what happens and all that, you know. So let's actually move a little bit now. Let's discuss about the current realities in our political space at the moment. We've seen a lot of, political or potential political candidates, trying to vie for the 2026 presidential election. We've seen a split between UDP and NPP. So UDP and United Movement. That's actually currently led by Talib. We have also seen a split between NDP and of course NPP that happened a few months ago, and then now that it's UDP and then United Movement. What is your general overview of these splits in politics at the moment?
Okay, so this is something that is really affecting opposition parties in the country, because we opposition parties have a problem, and our problem is the government. Yes. We want to do away with the government, you know, but it's good for opposition parties to disagree and agree on terms, you know. So the split between United Movement for Change and United Democratic Party. Okay, one might argue that Talib should not have formed his own movement. From the other side, people might also argue that the old man, that is the oldest statesman, should leave the position of the flag bearership and relinquish it to other potential members of the United Democratic Party. So the whole issue is, Talib moves. He has the right to go because he's a citizen of this country, and he has the right to vote and to be voted for. If he wants to be president, let him leave and form his own political camp. That is, he does not find himself being a president or a presidential candidate of United Democratic Party anytime soon. So there is no problem if he leaves, because he wants to be president. That is his constitutional right. You cannot stop him from doing that. One might also argue that his move can be premature, because looking at history, someone might tell, okay, Talib was sponsored by United Democratic Party to win his mayoral seat in KMC, you know, and that happens twice. Like, he has been winning 2 consecutive times through United Democratic Party. So moving, one can also use that perspective to say that moving from United Democratic Party to stand solo can weaken his political career. But nonetheless, just like I said, it is very easy. And Talib has political ambitions. So he should go for it. If he thinks United Democratic Party is not the best political party for him to realize his potentials. So that is why this whole problem comes into play. So from my own humble opinion, okay, Ousseynou has been running for elections for 5 times now, and it's going to be 6 times. If he does not win, he's going to be Raila Odinga of Kenya. He passed on yesterday, and he's going to be buried. He's going to be buried after 72 hours. He contested 6 consecutive times and he lost elections consecutively. You know, but he still have the influence. Ousseynou has that influence. When he's moving, you will know that it is a big political party. In fact, it is the biggest political party, opposition political party in this country, without a doubt, undoubtedly.
Absolutely.
But so what went wrong? Why is it that they are not winning votes? So I think it is time for them to change faces.
The standard bearer,
change faces and bring in other individuals. Let the party moves.
Now most political and analysts will tell you, they don't have hope, in young Gambian politicians and all that, But also others argue that the old men or the old folks will also give chance to the young ones, especially Democratic Party, considering the potential candidates they have within, the party, the Yankuba Dabos, the Talib Ahmed Bensouda, the London B. Shanes, the Rahim Ali Close. Some even they say this, Dabo could have actually averted all what's currently happening in the party, the split, because it started a long way back, when Talib had his own camp, Malik with Rocky Malik Low, and then Yankuba Dabo also, this Kaburutin. Don't you think it actually is what actually led to what's currently happening within the UDP?
Yeah, it's possible. And I think this is something that United Democratic Party should have avoided. Okay, we believe in one ideology. That is why we call it a political party, and we are together in it. And we cannot have certain individuals forming their own camps within the political party.
That will undermine the entire...
For instance, let's say if Yankuba has his own camps in Brikama, and he call it Team Yankuba. Rohi has her own team in Banjul and call it, Atabaila probably, because that is the thing that is the word that she has been using. Talib also has the same thing. So United Democratic Party should have avoided that a long time ago, because it can be detrimental to the party, because we have individuals that have their own camps. So first, they really need to scrutinize. Okay, what is the basis on which your camp was? Why do you have your own camp? Within a political party, why do you have your own camp? So if the basis are known and it's clear, and you think they are not going to be detrimental to the party, it's good to leave it like that. But I think United Democratic Party do not do their homework properly when it comes to that, and that is why all this is happening. And there was a time that I said this on my social media platform. The continuous resignation of members, not ordinary members, but influential members in the United Democratic Party, is going to weaken the party. Whether you like it or not, that is the reality. It's going to weaken the party.
And once resign, numbers reduce and all that.
Exactly. And all those who resigned and all those who are there, they all have one vote. Ousseynou has one vote. Everybody in the United Democratic Party has a single vote.
Yeah, absolutely.
And those that resign also have one vote. So these are things that they should have avoided in the first place. But it does not happen like that. So now that they are in this mess. But one thing that I know for sure, that there is unity, there is strength in unity.
Yeah.
And we have a common problem. And I saw Gambians saying this, and I think it is very important if Gambians understand. Opposition political parties, they said opposition political parties should not scrutinize or criticize each other.
I think that's where it all started from.
You want what I want. And you want it in a way that I do not want it in that way, probably. Let's say I'm a socialist. And you want to do something that is against my values as a socialist, I will criticize you on that. And I think Gambians needs to understand that criticism is not bad, but let's have it constructively and we adjust towards it.
Absolutely. That's quite important. Now, we know, I mean, in few months' time, you know, we should probably be going to the polls over, let's say, an year time, you know, 2026, 5th December is just a corner, you know, and then having to have, I mean, major political parties having the split and all that, you know, also having imagined few folks also forming their own political party. Don't you think, like you rightly mentioned here, the goal here, the aim or the objective is to actually oust the incumbent? So if you have many different political parties, don't you think it will actually give the incumbent more both the incumbent to actually even amass more votes than the opposition? What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, just like I said earlier on, we have a common problem. That is all opposition parties. That is, we want to uproot Barrow's government, because it's very clear that the government is not serving the needs and the aspirations of the Gambian people. Without a doubt, it is not. Everybody knows that. I was around the provinces few weeks ago, or let me say a few days, because it's not even up to a week, and you see how people are living there. That is to say that the government is not doing enough. They are not doing enough. Look at the audit reports coming out. Corruption has now become a tradition in this country, where leaders can go and then you know, loot from the resources of the people and then use it for their own personal gain. And at the end of the day, nothing is going to happen out of it. When youths rights to protest, they are going to be arrested. They are going to be behind bars, and that is the trend that they want to continue. So we all know that we don't need a microscope to know that Adam Barrow is not doing enough. The president has punched, or is still punching below the weight. And as a country, we really need to be serious about that. Who are we coming up with next elections to make sure that the mess that we are in right now, we do away with it? High cost of living, school fees, corruption. You go to hospitals, there is no medicine. And you want to tell me that you are doing good. And I just day before yesterday, I think yesterday, I saw Bansang Health Clinic nurses on the street with their banner saying, "Health is your priority, Mr. President. Please, I don't know, help us with this or that." What is that? So now you are telling me there are reasons why we vote in elections. Yeah, we vote based on reasons. We sacrifice some of our rights to the state in exchange of these things: good life, better healthcare services, affordable food, even housing.
Yeah,
you know. So if the president is not doing that, why do I need to go out with my banner as a health personnel? I don't really think, I don't know, whosoever advised them to do that was a very bad advice.
Wow.
Was a very bad advice. And the president was, I don't know, has given them a pick-off or whatsoever. It's not coming from the president's pocket, for God and heaven's sake. The pick-up that the president gave to them, it's not the president's pocket. It's not coming from the president's pocket. From my own money. Comes from the consolidated fund. Jumali la navulo to the consolidated fund. You ask yourself that question. Farmers all around the country, farmers in Fonyi, farmers in URR, in CRR, well, farmers all that consolidated fund. Us that are here, the little work that we do, the taxes that they collect from us, those are the monies that goes to the consolidated fund. That is the money that they use to buy that vehicle for you, or that pickup for you, not from the president's pocket.
But yet Neo BK, at the end of the day, what happened is these are the same people that will praise the president. And then, so, as a health professional, let's say, it'll plan or maybe you can have borrowed or level from geoform with you, sometimes I can geo lawyer and all those stuff. I mean, so if you are to actually, even President Nene can or showing signs that the president thinks everything is okay, don't you think you are putting your people's life at jeopardy? Because the president may think, oh, he has done enough for the hospital, where probably behind the scene the reality is kuta jamia lang kavo abe mol demara so comme kata samil so sala role. So
pressing the president is a problem, because it's just like, okay, I hire you, nge hire ko ikenda mindano, for instance. Anything that I assigned you to do for me, and I'm paying you at the end of the day. If I praised you, that is just out of, okay, let's say, Bio Yakatal, for instance. But now the president, the people vote for him. That is why there was this interview that I said, the problem comes from the name itself in Mandinka, where we say Karte Fayo. That is where the problem comes.
Okay.
In Mandinka, if we say Karte Fayo, it means I don't need it any longer. Maybe I don't need it. What should happen is, I think the best term is Karafa. That shows that the people are the true owners of power. I vote for you, you do not deliver to the expectation, you punch below the weight, I remove you from that position and I replace you with someone else. So praising the president is just like praising your own bindano. People might not like how I say it, but that is the fact. President Adama Barrow is he's the biggest bindano of the country. And all what he does supposed to reflect on the lives and on the livelihood of Gambian people. If that does not happen, then Adama Barrow is not serving us. I think we really need to know that he's not serving us. There are cabals that Adama Barrow is serving. There are cabals that the president and his cabal, the likes of Mahmoud Sabali, these are the cabals that he is serving.
Sabali, one may tend to say Sabali has been a very, very outspoken person and of course also represent the youths. But since he defected to NPP, I think he has lost significant trust from most of the Gambian youth. What is your reaction to Sabali, in fact, defecting from, UDP to NPP? But now one may also question, when he was in UDP, some folks celebrated him, but when he defected to NPP, the same folks also against him. Now, what is your overall view about Sabali's defection from this camp to this camp, and all that?
I never trust Sabali.
Since day one?
Since day one. I have colleagues that supported the United Democratic Party. In fact, my circle, it's full of United Democratic Party supporters. The circle that I do most of my things with at home, most of them are United Democratic Party. We argue bitterly about Sabali.
Wow.
I have my own reservations, and I am very observant. I observe Sabali, and I know he's not the type of a guy that I can look up to. He's my red flag. Since the first day that he joined United Democratic Party, it's my red flag. I said this earlier on. The likes of Sabali joined politics not simply because they want to serve the needs and the aspirations of the people.
Wow.
They joined politics simply because of their own personal gains. Sabali was in United Democratic Party. There is nothing on earth that Sabali never said to the president. That Kerenka fall long. You understand? Now that you now said to the people that Kerenka fall long, you joined them. Sa defana kami na fanya, okay, kerang long iba killing ta kanjele. Mfana bita ajele nga killing ta. At the end of the day, there is no difference between what the president is doing and what you are doing. Just like I said, the president is now. So when I see Sabali, the youths are happy.
Are you one of those youths though?
No, Sabali knows very well that the youths are not happy. That is a fallacy. No. It's a fallacy. That is. I don't use that. I don't use that slogan. It's a fallacy. Sabali, Dr. Ismail Cisse will every day fight with their instincts when they are going to bed. Every day. If they want to be honest with you, they will every day fight with their instincts. Because they know that and what is currently happening, these are two different things. It's just like a black and a white. Wow. These are far apart. So we all know, we all understand. Everybody is living here. Yeah? We don't need microscope to tell us that the government is not doing enough. We don't need a microscope to tell you that the youths are not happy. You can have 2, 3, 4 people who are happy with him. Even those people are not happy. At the end of the day, some of them will not have breakfast or lunch or dinner to eat. So,
For over a year now, Sabali has been telling us the youths are happy. And I've seen some youths online also actually retweeting it or reposting it and all that. Maybe those individuals are actually happy, but anyway, regardless.
Yeah.
Now that, like you rightly mentioned, and lately you've seen, frequent unrest protests from the Gambian youth. And there is this statement that in any country that you see youth actually taken to the streets, know that the country is actually at fault or is not going in the right direction. You've been one of those guys who has been arrested probably on multiple occasions, through the Gala protest and all that. Having to actually mount the streets to demand accountability and for actually the government to also make concerted efforts to avert corruption in the country. I mean, what did you expect from the government of the Gambia? Because you've seen a lot of arrests. That probably you might not see that coming, or in that actually baffles a lot of activists out there. I mean, you as an activist, Pan-Africanist, and of course a politician, what do you make of those arrests? Is it a tactic to actually suppress the youth, or is that tactic to actually suppress people that are outspoken, that understand realities and influencing other people to actually join them in the same crusade, or was it just the president don't understand what he was doing? Can you tell us?
Yeah, so the issue of protest is that when citizens are suppressed, when the masses are suppressed up to an extent, they will also revolt against the whole thing. And I think that has been the case in the country since, let's say, 8th May, when we were arrested at Banjul when we were asking for the list of the buyers and the sellers of damaged assets and the resources of the assets, or the money that they used, or the money that was gained out of the sales. From there, you will see that a new Gambian was born. See, you can arrest us, jail us, you release us today, tomorrow we are back on the streets. Because the only language that these people understand, just like I said, they don't care. All what they care about is, let's say, the International Monetary Fund or the World Bank. Because a country that solely relies on loans and grants for our sustainability, for our sustenance. Even our budget is supported by World Bank. A small country like the Gambia, 2.5 million people. We cannot even back our budget. So the World Bank is, when the World Bank sees us going out, when they saw the youths going out asking for accountability, what they are going to think is, these people are not doing enough. We are giving them our money and they are misusing the money. So now they are afraid and they are very insecure. That is why the arrest is going to happen. Mind you, before 2026, or even before December 2026, there will be a lot of arrests because a lot of protests will happen.
Wow.
Yeah, because every day you have reasons to protest. Every day you wake up today, you have something that you should protest about. You will be your friends are come and protest. Yela, you protest sama yela, you will you have another thing to protest.
But after all the good news press, protests and all that, still the government hasn't done much about this protest. And then youths will come here for Nyaman Rao. Back in the days, you hardly see youths actually got themselves go and protest. But now that most folks are actually aware of this and they know how important protests can be. I mean, we've seen there are reputational league and different institutional, after then at least come over there, even though maybe Gala after maybe even though it might be so, but at least they reacted to it, right? So, but now that the government is also arresting Mulu Milka Fendi, what is the fate of the future protests that are actually coming along the way?
Just like I said, protest, you cannot stop protest. Even one person can protest. When we were arrested first, it was 27th of us, the first arrest. 27.
Yeah.
How many Gambian youths are we having?
Wow.
27th of us. And the day that we were arrested, the second day and the third day, it was a complete national unrest. We were in cells, but we know what is happening.
Yeah.
A complete national unrest. That is to say that, okay, 2 or 3 people will go out first and they will be arrested. The following day or day after that, you will see people coming out to ask for their release and also carrying the messages that they were carrying. So protest happens in various manners, in various ways.
And
so
arresting won't be an opportunity for them. Instead, they need to remedy the situation and then
do what the youth want, and you're not going to see them on the streets. Who want to be on the streets? We are on streets because you are not doing what you should do. Sometimes if I'm going to protest, I have to stay away from my mother.
She don't like it.
She will not even know that I'm going for protest. She will just shout that, okay, Omar, you are arrested. That is the time that you will know that I went for a protest.
Wow.
I don't want to be there. I don't always want to be arrested because I know I have loved ones outside. If I'm arrested, they're affected emotionally.
Yeah.
You know, But at the end of the day, the fight that I'm doing it for them. I'm doing it for my old mother. I'm doing it for my grandma. Now that my mother has also known what Comcatch is in Comium, the Comium Comcatch, I have to send her credit every 2-3 weeks for the Comcatch. So the data flow that happened last time when the Pure data protesting, I was protesting for her. To some extent, she could not afford the data because it's expensive. So all these things, okay, it's going to happen. Just like I said, it's going to be a continuous trend. In as much as the government is not doing what is expected from them, streets is going to be our office. So yeah.
Great. Now let's also stick a little bit to actually, because as we speak, almost every day our conversations probably will be centered on, most people say regime change, and then you tend to think of it. In the past, we complain about police brutality and all that, and now that we are actually witnessing similar trend, it's actually threatening our democracy. And some, in fact, say there is no democracy in the Gambia. It's just it's a lip service democracy, but it's not actually been put into practice. What do you think of the current alleged police brutality in the country?
If I become president anywhere, like any day that I become president, I think the first thing that I'm going to do is to do away with this PIU. Wow. See, okay, Jammeh was having NIA and juntas. The border government is having the PIU. I know what is happening. The PIU, the anti-crime, it's like it's a dumping ground for them. Those that do not understand issues. Only few will understand issues in PIU or in anti-crime. These are a bunch of fools that you gather and you take them to PIU, you give them uniforms, you give them a stove, you give them guns, you give them tear gas, you give them everything. Go brutalize the Gambian citizens. Go and brutalize them. What happened in Mandina Ring? If it's in a serious country, the IGP should have resigned the day that the incident happened. But we have seen a lot of contradictory messages from the police spokesperson that he was pushed and he died. Yamo pushed rek. I boy rek I fought.
He felt.
Yeah, that is what they said. They are pushed rek I boy ta father. You know, hakilo ba kunkono miralola. There are eyewitnesses, and you will see police arresting people. People, if you find out mom yan ko isembo so that they arrest almost about hani mo killing now subdue they are subdue. Why do you need to cuff him? Subdue already. He's not a criminal.
I've also seen how they handle Ali the other time. They've thrown him into the pickup and then he could have actually lost his backbone.
So just like I said, you know, these are individual. I think the security sector reform is something that the government do not really cares about, and there's a lot of money.
Has been pumped into that.
There is a lot of money. Now he also joined them. They are just looting from the resources of the country. And they leave the masses suffering without medicine, without food, without proper accommodation. So that is it. So the police will continuously do this. Mind you, the last recruits, more than 1,400 police were recruited. Yeah. You go on streets to find them there. What are they doing there?
So in the traffic though.
Majority of them are on the traffic. Majority of them. They have nowhere to take them to. 1,400 police officers. Because 2026 presidential elections is approaching. Protest is going to be the language of the people, and it is not going to stop. The police, these people, it's not only Omar that they killed. Mind you, before 2026, they're going to kill someone else. Wow. They don't learn. If they learned from their lessons, what the TRRC recommendation, the revelation that happens at the Truth and Reconciliation Commission should have been an eye-opener for all security sectors.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But now you see police officers beating and killing people for free, and nothing will come out of it. As if these are not people that we live in the same homes with. As if these people are living in a different country. What baffles me is Most of these people are wearing masks. They're very afraid because they don't know, okay, I do this to this particular individual today, I can meet with him tomorrow on the streets. Some of them, you remember when I was arrested the day the boys were taken to Mile 2? A young police officer that one-to-one, physically. It's insulting my mother, slapping me, telling me that you want to go to Mile 2, I will take you there.
Wow.
Yeah, you see? So these are issues that we are saying. At the police training school, you don't know minela. And these kids that they are putting into problems, the seniors are not going to be affected. The boys that they sent out to go and then kill or torture people, at the end of the day, if things happen, they are going to be in problems and their families are going to suffer.
We've seen what had happened in the TRC and all that. So
just like I said.
be a lesson learned for all and sundry, I think.
But unfortunately, it is not. Police brutality is becoming normal. When we were arrested at anti-crime, the May 8 protest, Gttv was seriously beaten by the police.
In the cells?
In the cells. I was there. I was in the same cell with him.
Wow.
Seriously beaten. And I think it is high time we start calling them by their names.
Was he resisting though?
They asked us for a thumbprint. And we said we are not going to do anything until our lawyers come. But somebody who is in your custody, why am I going to resist? Resist for what?
Wow.
Because I know resistance is not going to take me out of that cell. So I'm not going to resist. But they just want because I do not ask the boys to go and do that. Now, you take responsibilities for their actions. You are the leader. Take responsibilities. Let him resign. The IGP should resign. Why should we have Sidi Mutartisi as our IGP still? He should have resigned. Honorably resigned because the police officers killed an armless youth.
Yes, they've allegedly killed.
No, there is nothing like allegedly. It is clear. We have seen eyewitnesses and
the court hasn't approved it yet.
But still,
the matter is actually, in court, so.
Still, we have seen police witnesses at the court, the last court hearings. They said he was beaten by the police. Yeah, so that is not, okay, the court has not bring its verdict yet, but I will never say allegedly. The police killed that young boy.
You believe that they killed him?
They killed him.
Wow.
I can defend that anywhere. They killed him. They do.
That's scary and quite worrying. And now that also we actually need to go, our conversation has always been the issues that the government need to address at some point, and the brutalities that actually have been meted on citizens and all that. And as a nation, if you are less satisfied with how forced to resign or has been
released from service, yeah.
Exactly. It actually attracts mixed emotions and so many comments online, So we've seen here made in a post and all that. I don't actually want to go back on those.
Yeah.
All that. And Ushenu is a respected individual in the country, So I've listened to Gala's interview on Africa TV that Gttv was forced to was released because of where he's working, and he's that type of guy that will actually want to it may affect him or his career in the long run and all that. But also one tend to question there's no much diversity in Gala, especially when it comes to gender, because we have only one female there at the moment. It cannot be only women all the time. And last time I heard Omar saying, it's high time we give chance to women to lead us. When I read that, I was like, Omar, I think charity begins at home. How many women repeatedly do you have in Gala in the first place? I knew only one though, right? Yeah. So what do you make of that? Because
so again, I think that is very important, and sometimes. So I will start with Hussein. Hussein is our comrade, and we do not have any bad feelings with any of these comrades. These are our comrades. We started this struggle together, and in fact, nobody is sacking nobody in Gala because nobody owns Gala. We released, yeah, exactly. We released you, or you are released from being part of the central committee, but we cannot say, okay, Hussein, you are not a Gala member, because we do not have a codified membership. Okay, let's say you have to buy a form or you have to do this before you become a Gala member. If you believe in what we believe in, even if Adam Barrow believes that he is fighting against corruption, he's Gala member. We don't have any problem with that. You understand? So they are all our comrades. We still have a lot of respect for them because we started this struggle together and we are still with them. We are going to stand with them in anything that has to do with them. We are together. We are comrades. It's not bad for us to fall apart sometimes, disagree and agree onto something, But we cannot also risk the movement. Even if it is me today, for instance, I'm having this interview today, and I said something that should not be said. Who am I? Responsibility. I said it, and I'm going to man up. I will take it. I am released from services today. Because I cannot be the reason why the movement is going to be in a situation.
Okay. When you said so one may tend to ask, are these folks probably in one way or
no? I am speaking from a personal perspective. I said if I am going to be released from services today because I said Gala's principle.
Yeah,
I can be released.
You relieve from up to this. You can mention as to why you actually relieve them from their positions, though.
Yeah. So
I think Gala should be transparent.
So when you look at the data of termination, you will see a section there that said they are released because of this and that. The behaviors are undesirable for the movement. And that is why you are released from services. So again, we can have this discussion here and there, but it's all when at the end of the day our hearts are together and the struggle is to fight for the Gambian people, not for me, not for Omar Saibo, not for Hakim, not for Aliu, not for Falu, not for anybody else in Gala, but for the Gambian people. So that is the fight and that is the spirit.
Great. Just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Has there been any salary attached to any member of the Gala?
No way. No, there is no salary.
100% voluntary and all that.
It's if the percentage is even more than 100, because I can remember there was a time that the then national coordinator Ika. Okay. There is this emergency meeting that we had. I was far away from here. I was with my family, and he called that I have to be here before 2 p.m. And that was around 10. I have to freshen up and I have to be here before 2. And nobody going to pay me for that. Nobody has even given me the transport refund for the fare that I use all the way from my village to attend the Central Committee's emergency meeting. So it's 100% voluntary service. Nobody is paying nobody and nobody is giving money to nobody in the movement.
And what is the future of the movement, Gala?
It's very bright. It's for the Gambian people. The future of the movement is very bright.
We'll see in this in the long run. Would Gala remain here for eternity, or they will remain here until for the longest of time, or Gala is actually here to actually change the status quo to make sure the current government either change their shift or actually do what citizens are asking them to do.
So Gala is going to be here for a long time. That I can say. It's going to be here for a long time. Even if there is change of government, Gala is still going to be here, because it's going to be the watchdog.
Now, many people out there have issue with the name Gambians Against Looted Assets. And
yeah, so that name thing too will become a problem again. Okay, so Gala can change the name from Gambians Against Looted Assets, but Gala has, since the formation of Gala, issues upon issues. Every day you will know that Gala is on issues, something. And Gala now becomes a household name for the Gambian people. Absolutely. So, I cannot single-handedly make or say that the name is going to be changed, but let Gambians be patient with us. In fact, the fight that we started, the looted assets, we don't even recover it yet. So again,
absolutely.
So let's just be patient. It's going to come.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One more thing before we actually wrap up the show. We understand protests now that many Gambian youths actually aware of what protests can do, right? But now, 2026, the incumbent is telling you that no protest can change this government and all that, either through the ballot box or nothing else. Now, as a politician, what advice or what mechanisms do you think all the opposition political parties should actually do to make sure they oust the incumbent come 2026 presidential election?
So I think all opposition parties in this country should have a roundtable discussion about the future of this country, not their political parties. And I think the problem with Gambia is people are mindly submitted to their political parties, mindly submitted. If for instance, I support Doi, and if Doi did this and it is bad, I will still keep quiet. I will not say it. And if anybody comes out and against Doi on that, I'm going to be at the forefront to back Doi, even though I know it is not right. And that is the problem. You come to elections, you will see candidates that are far more competent than your candidate. But because you do not believe in that person's idea, even though you know that the person that you are supporting is not competent, you're going to vote for them. That is what cost us in 2016, and that is why we have Adam Barrow as our president.
Wow.
I think opposition parties should still come to a roundtable discussion. Let's talk. Let's discuss. And let it not, even if they are going to be coalition building, I think there should be, but let it not be a coalition building of 2016.
Wow.
Because the 2016 coalition was built and nothing concrete was signed. Yes, one might argue that coalitions everywhere in the world does not last forever. They fall apart at the end of the day. Yeah. But if we are falling apart, let's have something in common. Let's have something concrete that we will leave for the Gambian people, not for our own political parties, interests or whatsoever, but let's just be there for the Gambian people. And I think political parties should open up. Let's have this discussion. Let's come together and remove Adam Barrow as our president.
Should we actually go into 2026 presidential election like this? What is your prediction, considering the political climate in the country at the moment? I mean, do you see the president actually going back to State House again?
No, I will say, okay, let's leave this to the data scientists, the data analysis.
Surprise released the data that actually didn't go down well with what account.
Yeah, but
a few years ago they actually gave that actually some people actually agreed to, but now that some information, the inconsistency, I mean, among our politicians and anything.
Yeah, so just like I said, maybe you can leave that question for Baba Tuba. Maybe if you can have this conversation with Tuba Mara, you'll be able to go deep in details and tell you that the statistics that all these presidential or all these political parties has been having, and what are the tendencies of them changing, whether they are going to change or they are not going to change. But right now, just what I have to say is, I never want Adam Barrow to go back to that State House.
Wow.
Yeah, so opposition parties should come together, build something very strong and solid. Let it not be the coalition of 2016.
But do you believe, because I mean, when we go back to history, no single political party has ever removed the incumbent
in this country. Yeah, but yeah. So
do you believe in that? I mean, history maybe otherwise, because
I'm student of history, Tamid. So I am minor in history. I believe in history. So I think history has this good thing. History continuously repeats itself. So yeah, let's go back, form the formidable coalition, come and then take Adam Barrow out of the State House and hold him accountable for all the corruption that he has been doing, all the police brutality, and everything that has to do with his government. Let him be held accountable for that.
Great, Omar. I'm actually glad to actually receive to hear. But before we take a leave of you, what would be your final message to the general masses there, to President Adam Barrow and to the Gambia police force at large, and all the opposition political parties in the country?
So I will start with the masses because that is where I am from. You know, we should understand that we are the true owners of power. That all power belongs to the people. No bourgeois owns power. No capitalist owns power. You are the owners of power. It's few months to election year. Make the best use of that power. Give us a leader that is going to serve the needs and the aspirations of the Gambian people. And again, to the president, I hope you know that they are not doing enough. The Gambian people are dying. You go to hospitals, there is no medicine. Parents are dying. Young people are dying. Pregnant women are dying. And you are going to be held accountable for that. Because it is because you haven't done enough in the health sector that causes this. So if you don't want to be somebody that is going to a wall and leave this country, go to exile after your tenure. It's never too late. You can still make it up, but that is not going to stop the accountability. To the Gambia Police Force, most especially to Sidi Mutar, you should have resigned honorably and leave the power. You are the leader. Take responsibilities of what your men did. And everybody in this country, police are not, we said they are not our friends. That is what we said. We have reasons as to why we said they are not our friends.
The police are friends.
No, they are friends to who? Not to us. Because we cannot be friends if you are beating, brutaling me, killing me. We cannot be friends. I cannot be a friend to somebody that will kill me. You know, when I was arrested, the last arrest, I was at PIU headquarters. And what they told me was, you think you are more Gambian than me. Wow. It's a police officer saying this.
From a police officer?
From a police officer. Wow. You think you are more Gambian than us? You were standing in front of 30 media houses talking. Now that you are here. These are coming from police officers as if I did something bad to them. I was fighting for somebody that was paid, oh, that is going to be paid 5,000, 6,000, or even 3,000.
Oh, that's scary though.
You know, so the Gambia Police Force should really double up. Let the TRRC be a lesson for you all. Do not be used by this capitalist. Because at the end of the day, you are going to be in the problem. They have the means, they have the power to stop themselves from being in the place that you will be in if things went wrong. So please, the Gambia Police Force. And again, to the masses, all power to the people.
All power to the people. Thank you so much. Omar Sanyang, I'm actually glad to have you. And we had a very, very thought-provoking conversation that I believe the viewers will actually learn from. And of course, even the president, like you said, constructive criticism is very important. It helps you to actually double up your efforts and also fix the problem, because most people will tell you we have a broken system and it needs to be fixed. So thank you so much to our beautiful viewers actually watching Gambian Talent TV and send brother Lamot Lamin Job and of course Madam Makasuba Taimum, you know, Neko Fimana, the Fatuki Mana, that's why you can actually join us. But then next Thursday I will have another interesting guest here with me, inshallah Rabbi, and to Omar Sanyang. Thank you so much for actually taking your time and honoring my invitation and coming to Gambian Talent TV, to our wonderful viewers out there. Thank you and do have a blissful evening. Bye-bye from me now.